Magazine, back with another exclusive interview. Today we're going to be sitting down with Mr. Stevie Franks and Michael Fire, talking about their latest project, A Must Win, and we're ready to get into it. So, how y'all doing? First of all, thank you for being here. The weather's not the best outside, but we made it.
It was a pleasure coming up here.
Thanks,
it's a whole new situation. I wasn't sure where I was at, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, we made it. We here now. We good, comfortable.
Most
So let's get right into the project. You guys just put out your collab album, A Must Win. Tell me about like how you came up with the whole process of A Must Win. Where's the concept coming from?
You want to go into it? Or you want me? Well, mainly because we've been working in the same vicinity for a long time. So we met him through a mutual friend, E-Dot, who's a producer. I started working with him on one of my projects called The Bigger Picture. And Mike was always like, that was like his artist, and that he was always passing through. And just through, being in the climate of working with each other, we became friends. And it just only made sense for us to come together and collaborate on a project since we've been around each other musically for so long. And we were just trying to come to a common ground, like, all right, well, what are we going to talk about? You know what I mean? Because we have similar backgrounds, but we deliver it very differently. You understand what I'm saying? So we had to figure out, all right, where we going to come through on a common ground with this. And we just, as soon as we picked the beats, it just started clicking. It was just one after another. And then after every song was done, we were trying to figure out, like, what is it, where can we come to on a common ground, what the title of it's going to be. And, both of us wanted to win. And what other names did we come up with? I don't even remember.
I can't think of the other joint on top, but I know when we landed on this, it was kind of just more so like, we all aiming for like this goal of like being on and being able to represent and kind of push forward all the music we put out. Because he puts out a lot of content. I know I put out a lot of content. Even during the pandemic, we kind of still were able to release music. So it was just like, this got to happen this time, because with the pandemic hitting, it's kind of like, you can't afford for anything to just be lackluster. So it's like, this got to be we're going for the gusto now. Like, this is just one of those things. I think the music just represented that feeling of like, this got to happen now. And like,
So
no better time.
Yeah, must win.
And you said like with your differences in creating, and I'm sure y'all have different creative processes. What was the challenge? So you must have the challenge of putting two different styles together on one project and still making it a hit.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of worked easily because like he mostly picked the beats through Track Haida. I have like, we both got 2 single songs where it's just him, and 1 solo songs where it's just me. And then I think where we got the most creative challenge was kind of like picking like another song that was totally different than what was on the project, and that's on that time, which is produced by Rizzy Grams. Like, that was a joint I felt like we got to see like the creative differences really stand out versus the other ones. He's cooking them, sending it, and I'm just like, I bet. And then even with the hooks and then the songs, he was like, I got some beats, you take lead on it, and then it worked out. But some of those differences I think came especially on that time, because I was like real meticulous with certain things we needed to get done, and he was kind of like, I don't work like this.
I'm the perfectionist
for sure.
Was that a challenge for you to like not nitpick, but like to go over your work over and over again?
I was, I don't say it was a challenge, but when I have a vision in my mind, when I want things to be out there, and as far as like how much work I want to put out there, because now I come from when, you had to be out in the streets selling hard copies and standing on the corner doing that, you know what I'm saying? So now it's like, you don't need that. Like, you can put your music out on your own. You don't need nobody to do that for you. So you can put out as much content as you possibly could want. So my thing about it was, I'm like, you know what? We need to take advantage of people. Things are a little bit more open, but I need to take advantage of people while you have their attention. So my goal was to put out as much content as I could put out that main year. But because of, he's just very meticulous, and I'm like the executioner, like, meaning like, bro, you on it? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But we complement each other in that way, because I push him, right? And he pushes me to be more of a perfectionist. Because me, I'm like, I'm like, bro, it's a wrap. It's over. We done. He like, Prince, I need you to listen to what I gotta say. I need you to like go back and do this. Look, say this way and put this in the look. Like him, like it's to be the smallest thing, like bells. Like he'll take some joint. He be like, bro, I'm telling you, listen to how this beat separate. It's just, you know what I mean? But he helps me now because even when I write something, I'll go back and I'll look at about how I deliver it and I'll restructure how I write just on behalf of how he made me like, look, bro, like I'm telling you. And his thing is like, bro, trust me. That's the main thing. Like yo, bro, you trust me? And this is like, yeah, I trust you. So it's like, you know. And then what made it even better was the fact that we really homies. Like that's really my man. Like you know what I'm saying. So it's not like we just two people coming from completely different like situations. Like nah, we all in the same circle. So it was just about that time. You know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. And you said the one song, what's the title of it again?
On That Time.
On That Time, that's the single, right?
Yeah.
You said that's like a different vibe than the other songs. So how would you describe the other songs and the vibe on the album overall compared to that one?
I feel like those are more like hardcore hip hop rap, you know, versus On That Time is more of a single for like catching a vibe for the ladies, you know, for women. And you know, the other songs are more like catering to the title of it. Like you just hear like Fallen Soldiers has like that feel to it of like just representing the struggle, and then you got other songs like the intro where it kind of just gives you that feeling like though these guys are wordsmiths and they came here to rap, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of stuff kind of, I feel like every song defines something. Like the intro might define, like I said, that we're wordsmiths, and the second song defines like struggle, and then the other song defines like morals and where we stand at in an integrity space.
Yeah. So
it all kind of breaks down just like kind of the makings of each of us. And then the last one, like On That Time, the single was kind of just like, all right, we had fun too. We're not just in the booth rapping around.
Right.
It's
fine sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
And he helped me. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Okay, he helped me like break like a barrier. Like I always had like an issue with, you know, I have a female fan base, and my issue was breaking out of what I know, just rapping to death, and really catering more towards them because he a smooth guy. You know what I'm saying? So he a smooth guy. So when he made me like, yo, man, like I'm telling you, we get this thing together. Well, actually, my Rizzy gave me the beat, and when I thought of the beat, I thought of him. So I sent it to him like, bro, what you think about this? And he was like, bro, that's the one. You know what I mean? And when he sent it to me, but I feel like I just need the right music and the right setting and the right things come out, because it was kind of hard for me to find that type of joint and make it work. But ever since then, I've been like, LL Cool J in the studio. You know what I mean?
God, I love Dallas.
You know what I mean?
So it sounds like y'all feed off each other, like, you know, creating together kind of changed how you're going to create even separately now. Do you feel like even when working on your own projects, you're going to keep some of the pointers that you got from working together?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely. Definitely. Like I said, like him, he's made me write better and be more precise and just everything from how I deliver, how I structure my words.
Yeah. Everything
is just like, he made me definitely step that up a notch. And also he made me be more patient and like listen and not try to, you know,
just execute that.
Like, right, you know what I mean? Because sometimes, like I said, like when I got something, I ride out on it. I don't wait. I just be like, man, look, I got the idea. I got the bread for it. Let's go.
Right.
Like, but sometimes you got to strategize and plan and put certain things into perspective. I mean, I've covered a lot of ground off of the execution factor. But my issue was that I wasn't properly planning my situation out. If I did that, I'd probably be a lot further than where I'm at right now, instead of just executing all the time and not really thinking about where I'm planning on going. But I just have the goal of putting this out. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, that's the beauty of working with somebody else. You get a different perspective. You get a different idea of how to do things. Is there one particular song y'all would say you spent a lot more time on than the others on this project? Like
probably On That Time,
Yeah.
The single was the one we kind of really took time and cut people off the song. It was a lot going on with that, because it was one of those, you had to make sure it was right.
Yeah, you already had that quality control.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to write my verse twice.
Twice.
Yeah, I write my verse twice because the way I structured it was, I was having a conversation with a female. We was going back and forth, and the whole of it was that they filtered in the other side of my voice to make it sound like female-ish. His idea was he was going to put a female in place of my voice and my vocals, but it just, the feel of it wasn't really right. So I went back to the drawing board, and I just rewrote the verse entirely. And then it was just, when I wrote it, he felt like the delivery wasn't 100% there. So I went back and I restructured it, and I did it like that. That's what it is now.
That's awesome. What's your favorite song on the album? What's yours?
I want to say Fallen Soldiers is probably my favorite, if not my solo. I'm not gonna lie, because when I got the production, like the dude that produced my solo, he's all the way in Portugal. So like when I heard that and he sent it back with some additives to it, it had my mind like, I literally like was in the crib just mind blown, like, yo, you killed this shit, like, because it sounded one way for a minute, and then he sent another one like right in time for the project. And I was like, that's fire. But Fallen Soldiers, to me, is like, I feel like we brought it home on that one. That one I felt like was the one to really be like, all right, these guys have a lot going for them, and let's give this shit a real shot. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
You feel the same? That's your favorite one?
Between that and I like Exit. I think Exit because just the vibe Exit has, and I feel like it's even though On That Time was a great structured song, but I feel like Exit is just a very greatly structured record, because it's everything from how the beat is structured to to the feel, the vibe, the execution on both his and my part, the vocalist. I think everything just all came together. You know what I mean? So and then I like his solo track too, because he's it just the way he puts, just like you could just tell when you listen to it, like he has certain points, and when the instruments come in, and then then he has, it's like he talking to himself, don't let the bag take the integrity, don't let it, you know what I mean? So it's just all the structure is just, that's like why it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, you can definitely see the balance like between your different styles on the album. Like you could hear it, but it definitely like collabs well together. Like, the balance of the sounds. Was there any songs that, like, let's talk about putting the album together? Was there anything you wanted to put on there but you left off for whatever reason? Like, did y'all create all these songs originally for the project, or was there anything?
I think we created everything from top. There was a beat that he sent me that I really liked, and I wanted to come up with something for it, but it just didn't feel as good as the other records.
Yeah, like it was I think the concept that I came up with, he was like, yo, nah, because I already have a record to fit that vibe, and he was like, nah, I don't think that really fits what we trying to get across. And he's like, we were just talking about on the way up here, as far as like keeping the interest going throughout the project. You don't want to take people's interest away from the project. Like you want them to be, when it's like, to me, I feel like projects are like a roller coaster ride, or like not a roller coaster ride, but like a drive. You know what I mean? You want to keep people going on a ride and having their mind going to mad different directions, almost like going on an adventure. And I feel like that's what we did with this, because I don't think that the next record wasn't expected. Like when you heard the first one, you got taken in a whole nother different direction with the second one. Then when the third one came on, you wasn't expecting for us to go that direction. So every track was very different. None of them were similar, and that's what we wanted.
Yeah. How do you think so you dropped it the beginning of the month, like around March 5th?
March 5th, yep.
And how's it been performing since then? Are you getting the feedback that you expected? Like, is it reaching the audiences you wanted it to reach?
Yeah, we're actually pushing to even reach even further, but I mean, right now it's doing pretty good.
Nah,
that's not even with dropping it, because it's strictly only on a mustwinalbum.com. It's not even on like a DSPs yet.
Right.
Because that was the one thing I picked up from working with him for the first time, was that direct-to-consumer approach versus like, everybody says like, yo, everything's on all streaming platforms, but I mean, you kind of cutting your dollar at that point.
Right.
I mean, it helps to reach, but there's other ways to go about it too, where it's like, I think people appreciate it when it comes out on the DSPs later, versus right now it's only on the site.
Yeah, with something like exclusive.
Right.
Yeah,
They
we've
got
been
it
doing
first.
numbers. Yeah, because
Right.
we sold the single first and then we sold the project. So
Yeah.
we've been able to kind of capitalize. We haven't even released the merch
We
for it.
made more money direct than as a person was having thousands of streams,
Facts.
and they had to wait on the back end.
Mhm.
My whole point of it was to change the narrative, like so they could stop cutting the money. You understand what I'm saying? Because the way how everything is positioned, it's like just everything has to be free. But I'm like, no, it doesn't. Because think about it, everything surrounding this room, right, thrives off of art, and somebody probably would pay maybe, let's say maybe $100 or $150 for that picture right there, right? Why is a song so much devalued from the same thing as an art piece?
Right.
Why? You know what I mean? Because music is, think about it. What if all the music in the world just shut down right now? Where would a person's mentality on how they feel about themselves and how they continue to conduct about their everyday? Going to work, going to the bathroom, you at work, you know what I'm saying? You need that stuff in order to fuel your life. Why is it devalued? Why is it not? Why do they feel like, oh, it's just because they have all these platforms, everything free? They're lowering the pricing on what artists get on the back end, pause, on how they come in their career every year. So my goal was to, first of all, to treat this project like it's a product and a business. That's number one. Number two, I wanted to change the narrative and let people know, like, if you have a core fan base and people will really support you and really want you to keep doing what you're doing and really love what you do and keep pushing your music, you can do that. Make them pay. Because they will pay if they like it. Like, look, listen, I've gone years and years with doing shows. People tell me I couldn't get paid for it, getting $250 a show, getting $350, sometimes walking off at $500, going into shows and selling mad merch and making $700-800 a night. And they try to say you can't make money off of music unless you're a big name artist.
Right.
Who said that?
Right.
Who came up with that narrative?
Yeah.
Not me. You know what I'm saying? I'm an ex-dope boy. I get money in a drought. You mean to tell me you can't get money off of selling merch
Right.
and music? Why? You got the outlets?
Yeah.
Huh? Like that's my goal was to change, just switch everything around. And we, like I said, the energy, we feed off each other. I wanted him to see that.
Right.
So now his whole change and his whole narrative of the whole entire situation will be different. His outlook is different. He like, man, I can get a bag off of this. But it's just how I'm going to present it and how to push it. When you push music like it's a product or like a business or something you're trying to sell, there's no way you can lose.
Right.
How?
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of independent artists could pick up from that because,
Yeah.
like you said, it's mostly off streams and then the artist isn't even getting paid
No.
and stuff like that. Outside of business with music, what other type of business adventures do y'all work on individually?
Well, I have my own graphic arts and media company called Unique Branded Designs and Illustrations. And also I got my own clothing line called Morals Over Money Apparel. So I'm definitely pushing those and everything. I'm starting looking at other investments, but those are the main two things of what I work on besides the music.
Yeah, for me, I got Well Deserved, which is the company, publishing company, but we also have like street apparel too. Like they're not even just for the streets, but like they call it street apparel, quote unquote. But we got stuff. We got kids hoodies coming out. Like one of these hoodies is like kind of some of the stuff we do with the WD logo on the arm, and yeah, just mainly promoting that because that's really the company that helps fund everything I do. So like Well Deserved, supporting that is almost in the same breath supporting me as an artist as well. So it's just been one of those. It's been a ride. It's like I'm updating the site now, trying to get more material, figure out different photo shoots because there's so much detail in just photo shoots and getting your branding right. But you know everything. People feel free to check it out. WellDeserved.store. That's a dope little outlet for like just the merch you may see on me in videos. Like I said, we're stepping it up to get some kids involved too. And just I see it in the future as something just like more a wholesale name, just like a something people can latch on and not just feel it's just music or anything like super street, but it's like I may tap into like agriculture later or things of those natures and have kids like really planting it. You see, like I really have a big vision for it, so it's just in the startup phase. But WellDeserved.store is where you can get merchandise to support.
Nice. And is the album released under that platform or is it under y'all own independent thing?
Yeah, it's on mustwinalbum.com. That's the main site where, obviously it's sponsored by his company and my company as well. So that's where we're keeping it. Right now it just has that main flagship site. But, later when it gets to the DSPs, I'm pretty sure he'll have it for sale on his personal own site. I'll probably put it up on the Well Deserved as a art piece people can grab and stuff like that.
Right.
What are you looking forward to with the album from here on out? Now that it's out, now it's getting good traction, now that y'all are seeing how good everything's going with that, what's your plan for it moving forward?
I think just right now we're focused on we still haven't even dropped the main visual. I have the series called Caltraps that we're about to actually shoot a visual for that soon. So it's just kind of getting a visual to kind of get more spread. So I mean, just kind of getting people more involved through different visual representations of the project at this point, because we're doing good without any real visual representation. So I think once we do that, it's still just giving it that time too, because I feel like right now with so many things going on, I think a bad habit would be to drop it and forget about it. You kind of have to keep pushing stuff in people's faces because they might have seen it and in their mind they're like, all right, I'll check it later if something comes up, but then they'll forget. So we gotta constantly put up those friendly reminders, whether it's with videos, songs, merch. So
and the algorithms is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta try to find ways to get around that too.
Break the algorithm.
And breaking it. You're not breaking it. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but you're gonna try. You know what I mean? But so it's just like what he said, and to continue to try to push the outreach, because I'm pretty sure there's millions of people that never heard of a Stevie Franks or Michael Fire. So
it's the audience for everything.
Right, exactly. So that's another key thing why I feel like the direct-to-consumer concept is viable, because you can literally, there's so many outlets and so many apps and all that. You create your own audience. You can take your audience, what you have, and grab it, and make it work for you. You understand what I'm saying? Too many outlets. Wow, why not? They right there. No, that's how I met y'all. You know what I'm saying? So let's be for real. You can really grab anything that you want to touch, because before it was you had to depend on an entire machine in order to reach out to these people. You don't have to do that no more. So it's just like selling a product, get money.
The new independent artists.
Yeah.
That's what y'all doing.
That's what it is.
Do y'all plan on working together, in the future? I mean, y'all are cool and y'all did this great project together, so I'm sure that you have more in the bag. Is there anything you're working on right now?
I'm done with that. It should have been called the last win.
It should be called the last win.
We got shit in the stash though. You know what I mean? Another project is definitely always possible, because like I said, we work in the same circles. It's just gotta, once our minds come together with a legit rollout, I'm pretty sure everything will just take its course like this one did, and just kind of
he's featured on a few up and coming projects that I got, so it's always going to be, like I said, we always around. We talk all the time, so it's for that not to happen, you know what I mean? Whenever I get a verse from him, whether now or 10 years from now, I'm gonna get it. Yeah, I'm gonna get it. I'm eventually gonna get the verse, you know what I mean? But I definitely see us working in the future. But one thing I understand that in order for that to really a full-fledged joint past 7 songs, I really realized that I'm gonna have to, dedicate more to really crafting. You know what I mean? Can't be a rush product, meaning we're gonna have to take a lot in order to build on it. I'm really it's almost like a painting. You know what I mean? Because when a person really does a serious painting, and you ever see them big murals, it takes days, weeks. So it's I know when it comes to working with him and how meticulous he is, I understand that I'm not going to be upset about the process of it, because I know the end result of the work is going to be dope.
Completely worth it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You guys working on things individually right now, and then you dropped this together at the beginning of the year. You got stuff coming up that you're doing on your own.
Absolutely. For this, she got something dropping.
Yeah, I got my follow-up to my first project, the first song, 2018, for 2018, I dropped a project called Before the High. Okay. And I have the follow-up coming this 420 called High Notes. Oh. So that one is kind of that's my baby that I've been sitting on for a while, and I've had other little things come up that I haven't been able to release it. So that one I'm really looking forward to people to hear, and I feel it's a great follow-up from our project, because it's this was just the first dose of medicine, and then it's everything else is just explains why I feel this is our turn now.
Absolutely,
For sure.
absolutely. And actually, after our joint is done, coming out in May, another joint with the producer E-Dot. It's called Stages of a Man, and it's a short joint, about like 3 tracks. And I got another like assembly line of stuff that I'm dropping after that. So, you know, my goal was to keep the foot on next and to keep firing, not letting up. You know what I mean? And then trying to make sure I craft it. So my goal this year was to do partnerships. So, because I realized the reason of why I wasn't getting as far as I was getting in my career was because I was trying to do everything on my own and surrounded around my own budget. But I started thinking like a business. You know what I'm saying? So I started understanding like this person may have resources that I might possibly need. And also when you collaborate with people, it helps you craft and change up your sound of not what people are normally used to hearing you. You know what I mean? Your core fan base, you know what I'm saying? So that was my whole goal, was not to divide and conquer, but to assemble, create partnerships and cover certain grounds that I didn't touch before. That was the whole point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it sounds like, you know, y'all have a good relationship in terms of creating together.
Sure.
And I mean, the album definitely reflects that. You definitely hear, like I said, your individual style and then your collaborative style together. So, you have anything else you want to tell the people about the album, about the project?
Nah, just a
Where they can
mustwinalbum.com.
Mustwinalbum.com.
Look, listen, I'll tell y'all something. If you love good lyrics, you love the official hip hop sound, if you love a creativity as far as on a lyrical standpoint, and you love just creating a feel, you love music that's gonna make you think and touch all different emotions, you're gonna love this project. Make sure you go to www.mustwinalbum.com and get all the exclusives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's it. And follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, right, that too.
Michael Fire, Michael_Fire. Twitter, Michael Fire, F-I-Y-A. I know a lot of people think it's traditionally spelled with F-I-Y-A.
Word. Follow me on Instagram, Stevie Franks the artist. Like my music page on Facebook, Stevie Franks Music with a K. Follow me on Twitter, Stevie Franks Rap. Follow me on Snapchat, Stevie Franks 100. For all exclusive updates on everything else in my career, as far as like shows, merch, projects, and all that, go to therealsteviefranks.net. For the merch, go on to moralsovermoneyapparel.com.
Nice. Again, thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Hope to see y'all again on the next drop,
Yeah,
when you come out with the next
absolutely.
project. So we'll
Absolutely.
definitely be looking forward to what you're doing. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
As usual, I'm Amazing Amy. This is We Are Jersey Entertainment. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.
I made it.